screen. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's talk about the 8th chapter, that is mathematical induction and binomial theorem. We are only left with 6 chapters. And once we're done with this, we would be left with 5 chapters, right? Out of 21. Okay. All right. So this is the 8th chapter of the book that we are following, and it is mathematical induction and binomial theorem. Okay. So this is the chapter, and this is an important chapter, easy as well. We have a few things that we will be using here. So I will be talking about those rules directly in the questions. Before this, let's have a look at this thing. Okay. So what exactly is this? What exactly is binomial expansion? Okay. Binomial expansion is this, that if you have two numbers, a plus b to the power n, you can expand it this way. Okay. So you need to keep a few things in your mind. Number one, if the power is n, you would have n plus 1 terms. 0th term, first term, like you can think about it as the first term, but it is 1, 2, 3, so on, and then this is n, right? So from 1 to n, we have n terms, and then this is the first term. So in total, in short, let's just make it simple. Just know whatever power you would have, the number of terms would be one more than that power. For example, if I have a quadratic equation, let's say a plus b squared, I know how to expand it. It gives me a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So I am going to have 3 terms. Okay, it's simple. Whatever number you have over here, the number of terms is going to be one more than this number. This number was 2, and now I have 1, 2, and 3 terms here. So this is something we need to understand. Okay, that is it. The remaining contents and everything would be discussed during the questions. One last thing, at times we are only interested in a specific term, right? So for that, we use this formula in CR, a power n minus r, and then b power r. Okay, so far you know कि जो भी power होगी, the number of terms is going to be one more than this. Okay, this is the first thing that you need to remember. Forget about it. And the second thing is that this is basically a general formula. We plug in different values of r, we plug in 0, we plug in 1, 2, and so on, and we get all the terms. But if you're interested in one specific term, you can just use this. Okay, because at times the question is about find the coefficient of x squared, find the coefficient of 1 by x. So for that, we will be using this. Okay, any confusions, any doubts so far, anything that you are not able to understand, please confirm. Yes, please be honest with yourselves and then tell me. Okay, all right, very good, perfect, thank you. It is clear. Okay, so let's talk about the questions then. Okay, question number 1 says NC1 plus 2 NC2 plus 3 NC3 and so on. This thing right here, N1, this is basically NC1, right? So it is another notation of writing it down that way. Okay, this is what we have, and we need to find the answer. Okay, so for this, I will be talking about a few rules, and then it would be very, very clear. Okay, rule number 1 is, if you have something of this type, this is rule number 1, please note it down. If you have R, N, C, R, okay? So for example, if this number and this number, if these two numbers are same, and if you have N here, so you can write it as N into N minus 1 CR. I'll repeat, do not worry. Okay, this rule says if you have R, N, C, R, if this number and if this number and this number, if they are same, and if this is N, you can write it as N into N minus 1 CR. Okay, this is a rule. I did not make it by myself. This is a rule that we will be using in the questions. Okay, I'll write that in again. I'll tell you where exactly it is being used. So the first term is 1 into NCR. So this number and this number, they are same, and I have NN here, right? Then we have 2NC2. Again, this number and this number is same. So whenever this number and this number is same, I can convert it to this. Let me convert it to that, and then you'll see where exactly I can use it. So I can write this question this way. I can write it as N into N minus 1, 1. Why? Because I have R here and my R is 1. Okay, this number right here in my example is 1. Then plus again N minus 1 and then R. Then for the second term, my R is 2. Plus N into N minus 1, 3, and so on till the last one, and it would be N into N minus 1 and then N. I'll write it down more neatly. That is it. Okay. Any confusion still here? I have converted this to this using rule number 1. Yes, if you have any doubts, please tell me. This is important. Initially, we will be focusing on these rules, and then once we are comfortable, we will be talking about questions directly. Yes, please tell me if you are good with this or not. All right. Yes, thank you, Sufyan. Okay. All right. Okay. Very good. So we are good with this. Okay. Okay. The next thing is a rule, and that rule is basically this. I'm writing it down again. It is rule number 2. These rules would be used again and again, so please keep them in your mind. Let me talk about the sum of the coefficients. So when you will have NC, one second. Yes. NC0 plus NC1 plus NC2 plus NC3 plus so on till NCN. This entire sum is going to be 2n, and this is basically this, that the sum of odd and even coefficients is 2 power n. Okay, I am going to explain it again, don't worry. Okay, please focus everyone. Rule number 2 says that the sum of all the odd and even terms is going to be 2 power n. This is an even term. This is an odd term. An even term, an odd term, and so on. The sum of both the odd and even terms is going to be 2 power n. This is something that we will be using in general. Okay. So this is what I have. Now, what is happening whenever I have an n here? This is giving me 2 power n. So what if I take this n common? Can I write it as n minus 1, 1 plus n minus 1, 2 plus n minus 1, 3 plus so on till n minus 1 n, right? I can write it this way. And now I know that the difference in this and this is just of n minus 1. Okay, when I had n's here, I got 2n. This means that this entire thing is going to give me what? It would give me 2 power n minus 1. Is it okay? If I have n's here, I would get 2 power n. If I would have n minus 1's here, I would get 2 power n minus 1. And then we had and n outside, so it would become n dot 2n minus 1. So that is why the answer is C. Okay, I'll repeat it again. This is the first question. Obviously, we are discussing the contents here. That is why it is taking time. But let me explain it once again. Still, if it's not clear, you can ask me. Okay, we have discussed two rules. Rule number one was, one thing should be clear first of all, that NCR, and if I'm writing it this way, these are two equivalent forms. Okay, so be clear with this. All right. Rule number one was that if this number right here and this number right here, they are same, and if this is n, I can write it n into n minus 1 CR. Okay, this is going to be the rule. I could see that I have 1 and 1, 2 and 2, 3 and 3, n and n. So all of these were there. So I've converted this to this using rule number 1. Then I've taken n common, and this is what I had. Then I used rule number 2. Rule number 2 said that whenever I would have NC0, NC1, NC2, so on, the sum would be 2 power n. Okay, this is just the rule of the, this is just the name of the sum. I am explaining this because we will be using this again. That is why. But for now, just know whenever you have this, you are going to get 2 power n. It means if you have n here, you're getting 2 power n. If you would have n minus 1 here, like these, you would get 2 power n minus 1. So I had this n already, and then this entire thing turned out to be 2 power n minus 1. That is why the answer is C. Yes, please confirm if it is good, all of you. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. You need to ask me, okay? Otherwise, I would not know. Okay, Sadan, Muhammad, clear. What about Sufyan, Areez, and all the other students? Please tell me.
Yes, ma'am, it's right.
Okay, thank you. Mehreen and Areez, can you please confirm? Okay, Mehreen saying it's good. Areez, are you good with this?
Yeah, yes, clear.
Okay, all right, perfect. So we have just used these two rules, and that is how I know this would be the case. Okay, now another rule in this question would be solved. Okay, this time around, what is happening? The difference is basically coming over here, that I have 3C3 plus 4C3 plus 5C3, so on till this, and we are interested in sum. Okay, let's talk about rule number 3. Okay, rule number 3 says if you have NCN plus n plus 1 Cn plus n plus 2 Cn plus so on, and this is in the rule 2n minus 1 Cn, then this is going to be 2n Cn plus 1. I'll explain, do not worry. Okay, so basically NCN 3C3, n plus 1 3 plus 1, C3. Okay, so 4C3, 5C3. I can clearly see that the first three terms are exactly what is happening here. Okay, and then the rule says whenever you have this scenario, at the end you are going to get 2NCN plus 1. Okay, what is 2n? 2n is basically one more than this number. Whatever number you would have over here, the sum would be one more than this number, and then one more than this number as well. So this is converted to 2n, and this is converted to n plus 1. This is the rule. Now I am going to compare my situation with the rule. Okay, now all the options are in terms of k. What I can see is, very good, Saad, well done. What I can see is that this number right here is converted to 2n, so I need to add 1. So I have k plus 2 here. This k plus 2 would become k plus 3. This means I would have k plus 3 c something. So this and this, these cannot be the answers. And then this n is converted to n plus 1. So this 3 would be converted to 4. So D is going to be the answer. Yes. So again, one simple rule, and I was able to compare it and imply it in my situation, and I got D as the answer. All right, please tell me if it is good, students. I'm waiting for your response. Any confusions with this one? Okay, all right, good, thank you. Okay, great. All right, let's talk about the next question. Okay, all right, now again, I would expect this from you. I've told you rule number two. Rule number two says sum of the even and odd terms, right? The sum of both the even and odd terms was 2 power n. What are these? These are the odd terms only. Okay, I have odd terms here. So obviously B is not the answer. I would have something else. Okay, so rule number 4 is sum of the odd coefficients is equal to the sum of the even coefficients. This is the rule. All right. Now please pay attention. Rule number 2 was that the sum of both the odd and even coefficients was 2 power n. I'll scroll up and I'll show you. Okay, this is where we discussed this. Now I'm going to use a different highlighter, blue one. Okay, so this was the first even term, the first odd term, another even term, another odd term, and the sum of both the odd and even coefficients is 2 power n. Okay, then rule number 4 says that the sum of odd coefficients is equal to the sum of even coefficients. This means that this entire sum, that is for both odd and even, can be divided by 2 in order to find the sum of odd coefficients, because they are equal and their entire sum is 2 power n. When I will divide by 2, this is going to give me 2 power n minus 1. So the answer is going to be A in this case. I'll repeat. 2 power n is the sum of both odd and even coefficients. ठीक है, इस पूरी चीज का sum ये सिर्फ even है. यहाँ पे मेरे पास even numbers लिखे हुए हैं, ये सिर्फ even है. ठीक है, this is only for odd. This is only for odd. ठीक है, this is only for odd. In general, I know that the sum for both even and odd is 2 power n. ठीक है, मुझे पता है total sum 2 power n है for both odd and even, and I know that the sum of odd is equal to the sum of even. It means कि मैं उस 2 power n को divide कर सकती हूँ by 2 in order to find the sum of odd coefficients only. ठीक है, तो when I will divide it by 2, I know when bases are same and when they are divided, the powers can be subtracted. I can take this 1 to the numerator and it would become minus 1. So this is going to be 2 power n minus 1. Yes. Is it good or not? Sufyan, are you good with it now? The answer is A, okay? All right, okay. I hope it is clear. If you are telling me it's clear, it should be clear. Okay. Let's talk about the fourth question. Okay, I'll read the question. I'll give you 2 minutes. Think about it and then we'll solve it. The greatest positive integer which divides 11 power n minus 10 power n minus 1 is. Now 11 power n minus 10 n minus 1 could be any number, okay? You can plug in n equals 0, n equals 1, n equals 2, and so on. And you need to think about a number that is going to divide this number every time. Okay. So take 2 minutes, understand the question. Whatever you think as the answer, just tell me the answers and then we will talk about it at exactly 3:32. So I'll wait. Yes, anyone? Any idea? Any guess? Just make guesses and just try doing something. Okay, well done, Aries. Excellent. Okay. And yes, any other guess? Please tell me. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Very good that all of you have tried at least. Acha. It says the greatest positive integer which divides this thing. Okay. In order to understand it, let's just, do it this way. Let's imagine uh, that you have very good, Maham, excellent, that you have n equals 0. When n is 0, it would become 11 power 0 minus 0 minus 1 and it would be 0. Let's say we have n equals 1. It would be 11 minus 10 minus 1 and it would be 0. Let's say it is n equals 2. It would be 121 minus 20 minus 1 and it would be 100. Okay, now let's say it is n equals 3, but n equals 3 would be a bit difficult for me because now I'm sitting in the examination hall and I am doing it without my calculator. 11 square तो मुझे पता था 121 होता है, 11 cube क्या होता है, it would take some time and then ठीक है, तो वो करने की जरूरत ही नहीं. अच्छा, the greatest positive integer which divides this. When they're saying which divides this, it means which would divide this for n equals 3, for n equals 4, for n equals 100, जो सबको डिवाइड कर रहा हो. ठीक है, अब आई नो कि जीरो को तो कोई भी नंबर डिवाइड कर सकता है. 0 डिवाइड बाय 100 इज 0, 0 डिवाइड बाय 10 इज 0, 0 डिवाइड बाय 1 इज 0, तो कोई मसला नहीं है. इधर भी कोई मसला नहीं है. 100 को कौन सा नंबर डिवाइड कर सकता है? 100 को 1 डिवाइड कर सकता है, 100 को 2 कर सकता है, 100 को 5 कर सकता है, 100 को 10, 20, 25, 50, 100. वी आर लुकिंग फॉर द ग्रेटेस्ट पॉजिटिव इंटीजर. तो मेरे पास इन सब ऑप्शंस में जो कि एक पॉसिबिलिटी है जो कि 100 को डिवाइड करेगी, वो 100 इटसेल्फ है. जब मैं नेक्स्ट नंबर की बात करूंगी, दैट वुड ऑब्वियसली बी समथिंग ग्रेटर देन 100. ठीक है, अब अगर वो नंबर ग्रेटर देन 100 होगा, सॉरी वो नंबर, लेट्स से वो नंबर x है एंड x 100 से बड़ा है, वो कुछ ऐसा ही बड़ा होगा कि मैं उसको जब 100 से डिवाइड करूंगी तो वो हो जाएगा. ठीक है, तो the first 3 attempts are making me think that the only option I have for the scenario is 100. क्योंकि for n equals 2, the only choice I have is 100. ठीक है, तो that is why the answer is A. अगर तो इनमें से एक option none वाली होती तो then I would have thought more. But since the only option out of these 4 options which is dividing 100 is 100 itself. 100 divided by 200 would give me a remainder. मतलब उससे I would not get a proper answer. Remainder would not be 0. If I do 100 divided by 300, again I would get a decimal number. ठीक है, I don't need that. मुझे properly divide करना है, so the number could be at most 100 or less than that. That is why the answer is A. Yes. So Sufyan, Saad, Mehreen, is it good? Are we good with this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, Mehreen and Saad, are you good with this? Please be honest. Okay, all right, okay, thank you. Okay, all right. Let's talk about the 5th question then. Okay. If x equals 18 occurs in the rth term in the expansion, then the value of r is, yes. We are looking for x power 18. Okay, your hint is, you will be solving this question. Your hint is, this is A, this is B. Please use NCR, A power n minus r, B power r. Please use this formula and try finding out the value of r through this, right? Try finding out the rth term. Okay, I got 2 answers so far. What about the other students? Okay, all right. Let's try solving it together. Marine, your question would be answered. Okay. So basically, we know that x power 18 occurs in the rth term in the expansion of this, then what is the value of r? Now, okay, let's make it a bit simple here. At the end, you'll get a bit confused because of rth here and because of r here. But yeah, I'll tell you how to do it. Okay. We need to figure out the value of r. Okay. Okay. You know that here we are focusing on x power 18. Okay. X power 18. So first of all, I need to use the NCR formula in order to see that what value of r would give me x power 18. Okay, let me plug in everything in the formula. N is 9, C, r I need to find, a is 2x power 4, and in the power I will have n minus r, so it would be 9 minus r, and then my b is minus 3x power r. Okay, this is what I have, and then I am going to just extract the x terms because I am only interested in finding out the value of r. Okay, so it would become something 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 x power 4 multiplied by n minus r, and then x power r. Okay, and I need to compare it with x power 18. Then I know when my bases are same, I'll just make the bases same, they're being multiplied, so it would become x power 4 into 9 is 36 minus 4r plus r equals x power 18. When my bases are same, powers can be equated. Okay, so it would become 36 minus 3r equals 18, and r is going to be 6. This is important, students, please focus. R is not 6, this is equal to 6. I'll tell you what exactly is happening. Okay, for now just know that this formula is going to give you the value of r. Now please listen to me. ये जो r यहाँ लिखा हुआ है, इन्होंने एक बहुत ही कंफ्यूजिंग हरकत की है, इससे बहुत बेहतर था the question. Just think about it as if the question is x power 18 occurs in the nth term. Okay, they're basically talking about this r. They're not talking about this r, they're talking about the rth term wala r. Okay, so just imagine ke they are interested in finding out the value of n. Now you guys know when r is 0, I'll switch. When r is 0, we are getting the first term. When r is 1, we are getting the second term. When r is 2, we are getting the third term. This means ke when r would be 6, I would be getting the seventh term. ये जो r है, ये it is not this r. It is basically कि कौन सी term है. तो they should have used n here instead of using r here, but it's okay. We get the idea. The question is about कि कौन सी term है. x पावर 18 कौन सी टर्म में आएगा. ठीक है, इसकी सबसे पहले हमने सिंपल r फाइंड किया. r 6 है. हमें पता है कि हमारी जो नंबर ऑफ टर्म होती है r is 1 less than that. फॉर एग्जाम्पल फर्स्ट टर्म में r is 0, second term में r is 1. It means के r would be 6 in the seventh term. We are interested in the rth term. This is not the direct r. It is basically के कौन सी term है. That is why the answer is B. ठीक है, this is confusing. I myself am telling you this is confusing. Please tell me if you were not able to understand this. Okay, 1 second. So, okay, students are confused here. So basically, since r is 0 in the first term, so seventh term would be the one containing r equals 6. Yes, very good, Saad. Excellent. You are right. Okay. Okay. I'll repeat this one last time. Please pay attention. Always remember, whenever the examiner is talking about some specific term, for example, x power 18 wali term, 1 by x wali term, x power minus 1 by term, is tarah se, you will be using this formula. ठीक है, this is your hint. उस केस में we will be using this formula in order to see कि कौन सी term exactly would give me x power 18. ठीक है, अच्छा, मैंने सारी वैल्यूज प्लग इन की और यहां से मैंने सिर्फ x को एक्सट्रैक्ट किया बिकॉज मेरे पास सिर्फ x पावर 18 ही था. मेरे पास कोई कोफिशिएंट नहीं है, मेरे पास सिर्फ x पावर 18 है. आई नीड टू सी कि what value of r is giving me x power 18 and value of r is r equals 6. Here the question is not about this r. The question was about के r is basically the rth term वाला r. ठीक है, जब r 6 है तो ये कौन सी term है. The number of term is basically one more than the value of r. If it is r equals 6, it would be 6 plus 1 term, right? So it is going to be the seventh term. That is why it is B. So in short, we know जब भी examiner is specifying it something of this type, हमने ये formula use करना है. This is my A, this is my B. ये A आ गया, B आ गया, ये NCR आ गया. ठीक है, and then R I need to find. मैंने वो यहाँ से find करना है by comparing the powers. I got R equals 6. Question was about कि कौन सी term है. अगर R 6 है तो ये term number 7 होगी. It would be one more than the value of r. ठीक है, so it would be the seventh term. Yes, now tell me if it is good or not. I would still not mind if anyone tells ke samajh mein nahi aaya because it is not that direct. Okay, all right. Areez, is it okay?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, all right. So I hope it's good then and you guys are telling me genuinely. Acha. Let's talk about the next term. Please try doing this one. It's easy. I'll explain, okay? If the coefficient of 2r plus fourths and r minus 2 term in the expansion of this are equal, then what is the value of r? Again, they are talking about this r, okay? So think about it. It's easy. I've told you कुछ भी इधर को सोचने की जरूरत नहीं है. When they are talking about some specific term, just use the NCR wala formula. Okay. Now this is your first n, this is your second n, and this is your in general wala n, ठीक है? You need to find the value of r. Just do this and then tell me. I'll just help you with this 1 second only. You will use NCR, a power n minus r, b power r. Your a is this, your b is this, and your n is this. r क्या होता है? Figure that out yourself. यहाँ पे आपको terms दी हुई हैं. r is 1 less than this. ठीक है? इस तरीके से सोचना आपने. Well done. Excellent, Maham. Very good. And what about the other students? Please try doing it quickly. The idea is clear, okay? Take another minute and tell me the answers. It's completely fine if your answers are wrong. I want you to participate. Okay. Anyone else? Okay. Let's try doing it. The question is saying, if the coefficient of 2r plus fourth term, now I don't know what exactly, which term exactly it is. It could be the third term, it could be the fourth term. I have no idea. The coefficient of 2r plus fourth and r minus 2. The coefficient of both these terms are equal. Okay, all right. And I know that what expansion they are exactly talking about. Okay. So this is the scenario. All right. Now, let me just plug in all the values. It is 18 C1. 1 second. It is 18 CR. I'm just using this for now. And then it is 1 power 18 minus r. Then it is x power r. This is how it would look in general. If it says 2r plus fourth term, what would be the value of r here and what would be the value of r here? I'm telling you r is 1 less than the number of term. Okay. पहली term में r is 0, दूसरी term में r is 1. So if it is 2r plus fourth term, r would be 2r plus 3. If it is r minus 2 term, it would be r minus 2 minus 1 and it would give you r minus 3. हमें पता है whatever term we have, the value of r would be 1 less than that. ठीक है? So this would be my r and this would be my r which I will be using. So I know that the coefficients of this term and this term, they are equal. Let me write down the coefficients of this term first. It is going to be 18 C. Now r would be 1 less than this, so it would be 2r plus 3. And then there's no point in writing out this term because this would give you 1. And there's no point in writing down this term because we are only interested in the coefficient. We are not interested in the variable, we are only interested in the coefficient. So this would be the coefficient of the 2r plus fourth term. What would be the coefficient of r minus 2? Can anyone tell me? 18 C R minus 3. Okay, it's simple. And I know that both of these coefficients are equal. Okay, now I need to understand it very, very easily. This thing is equal to this thing. What does it imply? ये number भी same है, ये number भी same है. Then we have C. इसका मतलब है कि this is equal to this basically. ठीक है, तभी तो दोनों exactly equal होंगे. So now I know that 2R plus 3 is equal to R minus 3. I'll take this R here and I will take this 3 over there. And I am going to get R equals minus 6. ठीक है, obviously R cannot be a negative number. R is just supposed to be a positive number. So it is going to be positive 6. ठीक है, that is why the answer is going to be A over here. Yes, I'll repeat it again. If you have any questions, any queries, you can ask me. Wherever the examiner is focusing on some specific term, on some specific coefficient, you need to use this formula. This formula would help you how? We'll see. Okay, so this is the expansion. This is A, this is B, this is N, and we are focusing on this term and on this term. When it says 2R plus fourth term, R would be 1 less than this. So 1 less than 2R plus 4 would be 2R plus 4 minus 1, and it would give you 2R plus 3. When it says R minus 2, so R would be 1 less than this. So it would be R minus 2 minus 1. So it would be R minus 3. Okay, I know that these are going to be the coefficients of this term and this term. When I will equate it, everything is same except these two. It means if I want this entire blue thing to be same as the other one, these two must be same. So I've equated them directly. 2R plus 3 is equal to R minus 3, and I got R equals minus 6. I know it cannot be negative 6, it would be positive 6. That is why the answer is A over here. Yes. Is it good? Please tell me. Are we good with this?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay. I trust you. Let me see. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right. Great. Okay. So you guys can see here things are a bit complicated. That is why I wanted to cover the, basic chapters first, although trigonometry was not basic, and then this. So it has some rules you need to memorize. All right. Yes. Very, very easy question. Answer me quickly. The number of terms in the expansion of A minus B power 17. I have told you whatever power you will have, the number of terms would be 1 more than the power. Okay. So it would be 18. Well done. Excellent. Since it is 17, if you have 17 as the power, you would be having 17 plus 1 terms. So it means the answer is going to be 18. Very good. Well done. Okay. The middle term in the expansion of x plus y power 30. Do this one, please, quickly. Yes, okay, Sufyan, I will. Don't worry. Very good, Aris and Mehreen. And what about the other students? It's easy. Sufyan, try doing this one. What would be the middle term? I know that the power is 30. If the power is 30 in total, I would have 30 plus 1 terms. I would have 31 terms, okay? If I would have 31 terms, so what would be the middle term? The middle term would be 16. 16 se pehle I would be having 15 terms. 16 ke baad I would be having 15 terms, and the middle one would be 16. Middle value find karne ka behtar tarika ye hota hai कि this is the number of terms you have. Just add 1 and divide it by 2. So it would give you 16 directly. This is D. अगर किसी ने O levels में या metric में statistics पढ़ी हुई है, तो जिस तरह median find करते थे ना, जब हमारे पास even terms थी 31, so odd terms 31, so we used to add 1 to it and then divide it by 2. So this is going to be the middle term. ठीक है Sufyan, is it good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right, okay. All right, one last question for today. The binomial coefficient of the 21st term in the expansion of a plus b power 23. Yes. Think about it and then I'll tell you how to do it. Okay, I'll tell you how to do this one. It says the binomial coefficient of the 21st term in the expansion of a plus b power 23. Okay, the power is 23. This means n is 23. And what about r? If it is the 21st term, it means r would be 1 less than the term, so it would be 20. And the coefficient would be NCR, so it would be 23C20. Now, how do we find this value without calculator? Okay, I'll tell you. You can think about it this way. NCR or 23C20 can be written as 23 factorial divided by 20 factorial into 23 minus 20 factorial. In general, just know NCR is basically n factorial divided by r factorial into n minus r factorial. Okay, think about it as rule number 5. If you guys are not familiar with this one, it is important because we'll be doing it without calculator. Okay, so it would become 23 factorial divided by 20 factorial into 3 factorial, and now it would become 23 factorial can be written as 20 factorial multiplied by 21 into 22 into 23 divided by 20 factorial into 3 factorial, that is 6. So these two can be cancelled, and now you need to multiply it by yourselves and then divide it by 6, and then the answer would be 1771. Yes, this I believe would be a yes, very good, Mehreen, well done. But doing it without calculator could be a challenge. Please tell me if you guys were not able to understand this question, honestly. Because I myself would agree this is not that simple, okay? So if you have questions, you can ask me. It's clear, okay. Areez, are you good with this?
Yes, ma'am, it's right.
Okay. All right. Yes, it's easy. Okay. All right. Yes. Yes, Saad, you're right. It is easy, but the calculation would take time, right? Okay. That is it for today. I'll send you some homework questions. Try doing them, and then we will discuss them in the class tomorrow. I'll stop the recording. I'll stop sharing the screen.